Now we want to switch gears, take a look at the Department of Justice releasing the first round of former special counsel Jack Smith's report on President Trump and the 2020 election. Jack Smith is claiming that Trump would have been convicted in the election interference case if he did not win the presidency. Trump responded on Truth Social this way. Quote, to show you how desperate, deranged Jack Smith is, he released his fake findings at 1 a.m. Did he say that the unselect committee illegally destroyed and deleted all of the evidence? Unquote. Meanwhile, Special Counsel David Weiss released his report on the Hunter Biden investigation as well. Weiss slammed President Biden for what he says is rewriting history after Biden said that the prosecution of his son was political. Weiss writes, other presidents have pardoned family members, but in doing so, none have taken the occasion as an opportunity to malign the public servants at the Department of Justice based solely on false accusations. Joining me now with that and a lot more is the former Speaker of the House, former Georgia Congressman, and current Fox News contributor. He is the author of March to the Majority, Newt Gingrich, back with me. Newt, great to see you, Mr. Speaker. Always a pleasure. Your reaction to what we're hearing now from Jack Smith?
Well, you can't imagine a more unconstitutional position. Prosecutors always think they're going to win. That's why we have jury trials. Prosecutors often lose. That's the outcome of the Constitution. What he did was release a one-sided prosecutor's version of reality with no opportunity for the defense to rebut, no opportunity for witnesses to come in and say what he said was false. I mean, this is truly an outrageous political use of the Department of Justice and is frankly sick. And I think, given Smith's background, when he was once repudiated 9-0 by the Supreme Court for having falsified evidence to get a Republican governor, I think Smith really is a destructive, anti-constitutional figure. And what he did in releasing this is an absolute attack on the constitutional principle that you're innocent until proven guilty. I mean, who is he, as a single person, to declare that the next president of the United States is guilty? It's an outrageous violation of everything that the United States stands for.
Yeah, and even more outrageous knowing that this is the incoming commander-in-chief, and voters just overwhelmingly put him back there. I mean, we'll see if Kash Patel can clean this up. The DOJ and the FBI Senate confirmation hearings are beginning today for President Trump's cabinet picks. Of course, they kick off with Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth set to appear before the Senate Armed Services Committee in less than an hour from now. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer reportedly is plotting to turn the whole process into a circus, Newt, saying that these hearings are a way to hold the incoming Trump administration accountable. What is he saying?
Look, I think you have to recognize that the Democratic opposition to Make America Great Again and the depth of the Democratic Party's left-wing behavior. Notice in a moment of insanity that the governor of California and the Democrats in California just proposed $50 million to fight Trump. Now, they're in the middle of the worst fire in American history. They're going to desperately need President Trump's help, and they're adopting a $50 million program to stop Trump in California. I mean, this is truly insanity. Schumer represents a similar pattern. You're going to see a split. I'm writing about this this week. You're going to see a split in the Democratic Party. You're going to see people who want to work with Trump and people who hate Trump. And the result's going to be sort of a mini civil war among Democrats. Part of what Schumer says is totally right. Okay, senators have the right to question witnesses. They have the right to advise and consent. Now, turning it into a purely partisan circus, first of all, won't help the Democrats. It'll just confirm people that believe the Democratic Party has gone off the deep end. But it's perfectly legitimate to raise questions, whether it's about my good friend Pete Hegseth or anybody else that's being nominated. But it ought to be done for the purpose of discovering whether or not that person is capable of doing the job, not for the purpose of scoring points, which, remember, the next presidential election is 4 years away. Get over it, guys.
Yeah, it's just incredible. The hate and the political games just do not stop. Meanwhile, a huge opportunity for President Trump to help in L.A. He's reportedly planning to visit Los Angeles as soon as next week to survey the damage from the deadly wildfires. House Speaker Mike Johnson said that he's open to putting conditions on any federal emergency aid for those fires in the upcoming reconciliation bill. What do you think is possible here when President Trump visits Los Angeles?
Well, I think President Trump will express great concern for the thousands and thousands of people who have been left homeless, many of whom have lost everything, all of their memories, all their possessions. But at the same time, I hope he'll take this opportunity to eliminate the California rules and regulations and bureaucracies that make it so hard to rebuild. Our goal should be to help every person get back in their home as quickly as possible and as inexpensively as possible. You cannot do that under the environmentally driven left-wing provisions that California has right now. It would be impossibly long and impossibly expensive. They should all be suspended, and I hope the president will either use his emergency powers or will call on Congress to do it. We should not dump billions of dollars into the California Coastal Commission's control because they're a nightmare and they oppose all new building.
Yeah.
Folks ought to be allowed to go back and rebuild as quickly as possible and as inexpensively as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these rules and regulations tied to the climate change agenda, and that's where the failures are